Today's how-to is your 600-mile service on your FZ6R, which is an oil change and chain clean and lubrication. So we're going to have to take this panel off and get to the oil filter, which is right in there, and the oil drain plug, which is right there. First, go on a ride to warm your bike up. You are going to need a rear stand, oil. The Yamaha dealership wanted $26 a quart for synthetic, so I got Mobile One for $11. You'll need a filter. You don't need, but you really should get one of these oil filter caps. This is 65 millimeter. I got it at Advanced Auto Parts for about $4. You probably want your owner's manual, some gloves you don't mind getting dirty, rags, lots of rags, a 17 millimeter socket, 5 millimeter Allen, chain clean, I use Motul, chain lubricant, I actually use this DuPont Teflon. A lot of people on the internet have said really good things about it. I haven't had any problems with it. You also need to stay hydrated. You always need a beer. And you need anti-bug stuff. I get eaten by bugs like crazy, so I've got the off repellent and the mosquito candles, and I'm going to set all this stuff up now. Step 1, drink your beer. Step 2, put your bike up on rear stand. Step 3, I'm going to clean my chain. If you want to do it the right way, you take a chain guard off first. There's one bolt here, and remove this plastic tab back here. Turns out there's one little Allen bolt down there, so I'm really just going to swing this chain guard out of the way. Alright, time to clean the chain. I use Motul, and Motorcycle Superstore has this for about half the price as my local shop. So, you know, buy 4 or 5 cans at a time and save on shipping. I got the bottom of this one left. You're probably going to use at least half a can. You're also going to need some rags and gloves you don't mind getting dirty. Make sure your bike is in neutral and start cleaning the chain. Also make sure you clean the sprocket itself. You can see the gunk building up on the teeth. You want to get rid of that. Now you want to take those rags, or if you use a toothbrush or a gunk brush, and just get all the grime off of your chain. And when you're done with that, you also want to get the grime, look at that already, you want to get the grime off of the sprocket. Once you're pretty happy with how clean your chain and sprockets are, you're supposed to let it dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to the oil change now. Once the oil change is done, we're going to come back and lubricate the chain. First step for the oil change is to remove your left fairing. Some people have just popped the bottom 2 bolts out and kind of pulled it out of the way. So I guess I'll start with those, and if I want more room, I'll pull the whole fairing. You may also have to detach this front air dam or whatever it is. Alright, I'm pretty sure I have enough clearance to get in there and get the oil filter out. Now, a lot of people say drain your oil first out of the bolt, but I've been in situations where the oil filter gets stuck. So what I'd recommend doing is just loosen it just a little bit, crack it loose like you would a lug nut, to make sure the oil filter is going to come off. Because if you can't get the oil filter off, I mean, there's no reason to go ahead and drain the oil. You might have to go somewhere and get a special tool. So I'm going to get my oil drain pan, 17 millimeter, and my oil filter removal tool. I'm going to follow my own good advice. First thing I'm going to do is crack this oil filter loose. Alright, well, I know it's going to move, so now, you can stay there. So now I'm going to move on and drain the drain plug. Now, because I'm filming this, I'm probably going to soak my hand with oil, which is why these gloves used to be red, and now they're very, very dirty. Well, looks like I kept most of it off my driveway. Now let's pull that filter. Alright, if you're torquing things the way you should, this drain plug goes back in at 31 foot-pounds. Now take some of your new oil and just run it along the lip of the new oil filter. I'm going off memory here, but I think you're supposed to torque the filter to about 20 foot-pounds. Clean up any drips and spills, especially on your exhaust, because it's going to smoke when you start the bike back up, probably. Put the fairings back together, and then we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to fill it with oil. Now, fill your bike. Check your oil level on the dipstick. It's actually screw out. Level's good. Now that the chain is dry, apply lubricant. And try not to get it on the tires. If you do, wipe it off. Reinstall your chain guard and go for a ride. This is also a great time to check your tire pressure. Now start the engine, check for leaks.